We're always told that building wealth is this super complicated, mysterious thing, maybe even something that's totally out of reach. But what if it isn't? What if there's actually a clear, straightforward roadmap that just about anyone can follow? So, let's break it all down. And this right here, this is the core idea from our source material. And honestly, it changes everything. Getting rich isn't about some secret magic trick or just getting lucky. It's a process, plain and simple. It's about having the right mindset, a smart strategy, and then the discipline to actually execute on that strategy over time. This is the key. So that quote basically hands us the formula on a silver platter. Mindset plus strategy plus execution. This is our roadmap. First, you've got to adjust your thinking. Then you build a solid plan. And finally, you take consistent action. And we're going to walk through each one of these step by step, starting right now. All right, first up, shifting your mindset. And let me tell you, the source is crystal clear on this. This is the foundation. Without the right mental framework in place, no strategy, no amount of hard work is ever going to truly stick. Okay, so this slide shows the single biggest mental shift you absolutely have to make. See, most of us are taught to live on the left side of this chart, totally focused on income, just trading our time for a paycheck. But the wealthy, they focus on the right side, owning assets. They build and buy things that make money for them, which breaks that direct link between their time and their earnings. So building that powerful mindset, it really comes down to these three pillars. First, you have to start thinking long-term. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Second, you start valuing assets way more than just income. And third, you commit to learning. And that last one, that's non-negotiable. You have to understand the language of money, things like investing and especially compound growth, if you want to play the game and win. Okay, so we've got the mindset down. That's our foundation. Now it's time to build the engine. This is the action part, the nuts and bolts of earning more, saving smartly, and, crucially, putting that money to work for you. Right. Any good engine needs fuel, and in this case, that fuel is your income. The source suggests you've got three main levers you can pull to crank it up. You can master skills that are in super high demand, you can build leverage so your work reaches way more people, or you can just go out and seek higher pay, either by negotiating a raise or finding a new job. And look, a really powerful engine, it doesn't just run on one type of fuel. You want to diversify. So you start with your primary income, sure, but then you start to layer on side hustles. And over time, as you invest, you add this third, incredibly powerful stream, passive income from your assets. This makes your whole financial foundation so much stronger. So you might be asking, what's the superpower behind that passive income stream? Well, it's all about compound growth. The source makes a really striking point here. By consistently investing just $500 a month at average market returns, it's possible to grow your savings to this incredible number over the long haul. And here's the kicker. The most important thing isn't even how much you invest. It's how early you start. Now look, building wealth isn't all about playing offense. You gotta have a solid defense too. Our source highlights three really common traps that will just destroy your progress. You've got high-interest debt that's literally working against you. You've got lifestyle inflation, where you spend more every time you get a raise. And of course, the temptation of those get-rich-quick schemes. Avoiding these is just as important as earning more. All right, so you've got the mindset, you've built your engine, so what's next? How do you kick this whole thing into overdrive? Well, that brings us to the final phase, scaling up and enduring for the long game. This is where steady growth turns into exponential growth. The absolute key to scaling is just one word: leverage. I love this analogy. Think of it like this. You can dig a foundation with a shovel, or you can use an excavator. Which one's going to get the job done faster and bigger? Leverage uses systems and resources to massively multiply your personal effort. That's how you get more done without working harder. So according to the source material, leverage pretty much comes in three main flavors. You've got financial leverage, like using a loan to buy a rental property. There's media leverage, where just one piece of content can reach millions of people. And then there's technology leverage, using code and automation to serve customers 24/7. This is how you finally unhook your time from your earnings. And this is what that long game can actually look like on a real timeline. In year 1, you might just be focused on learning a new skill. But by year 5, you can really start to see your assets growing and kicking off their own income. And if you stick with it, by year 10, or maybe a little beyond, you can hit that incredible tipping point where your investments are actually making more money than your day job. Okay, so that's all the theory, but what does this look like in the real world? Like as a single, clear path that someone could actually follow. Let's put all these pieces together into one step-by-step example. Here we go. The entire roadmap boiled down to 5 repeatable steps. 1. You invest in yourself. Learn a valuable skill. 2. You use that skill to start generating extra income. 3. You invest a huge chunk. We're talking 40 to 60% of that new money. 4. You use it to buy assets that generate even more income. And then the most important step of all, number 5, you just repeat the cycle, patiently, for a decade or even more. That right there is the wealth engine in action. So there you have it. The mindset, the engine, and the long-term plan. The source lays out the roadmap. It's not some big secret. So really, the only question left, the one that really matters, is what is your first step going to be tomorrow?